2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 11th fret and then 12th fret from here on out. So that's 5 notes. And after he plays this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he will be plucking out individual strings after that. So it's this full bar and strum, and at the end of that sequence he'll be picking out individual strings with this index finger with the slide on it, but instead of strumming you're going to be picking out individual strings. So to end that measure he's going to find the second string and just play that with your index finger twice, and then he's going to cap off that measure on the 3rd string 12th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those strings isolated will be like this. You cap off that measure on the 3rd string 12th fret. Okay, so there's literally 3 components to that measure. This first component, which is the strumming motion, and then the next component is picking out the 2 notes on the 2nd string on the 12th fret. 1, 2, and then you end the last component as the 3rd string on the 12th fret. So the first component, second component, third component. And those are the 3 components that make up that break. So the first part that he does that is shorter, and then he plays an elongated version in the next measure. So that first part will be, after he plays that, he plays 1 down strum open. And you play the down strum open. So he plays that sequence, and then this next portion where he plays this again on the 12th fret, it's elongated, and you'll hear it in the original recording. How I have it laid out on the tablature is a little bit shorter, but he really goes elongated in this portion. It's going to sound like this. I'm going to play from the beginning then. It's just a longer sequence of doing this. It's just a longer sequence. Very easy to follow along with the LP. How many times he does it, I don't know, but in those 2 parts, the first portion is short and then it's elongated. And again, it's those bridging those components, and your index finger is controlling everything. So in the second portion where he does this, when he ends on the 12th fret 3rd string, this cap off, he plays it again, he strums it again, and then he slides all the way to the 3rd fret. So there's going to be 3 notes in all, and I'm going to play it here after this. So here we go. 1, staying on the 3rd string 12th fret, you can be playing it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And that 3rd time is going to be like a slide all the way to the 3rd fret on the same string, the 3rd string. And this is the part where he goes. And then we're gonna talk about there. So again, he's sliding all the way to the 3rd fret now. Now we're on the 3rd fret, 3rd string, and you're just sitting there. And then you're gonna play 5 notes with the slide and your index finger playing the 3rd string on the 3rd fret. You're going to play 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first 2 notes will be on the 3rd string, 3rd fret, fretted. 1, 2. Then you're going to play the open string on the 3rd string. Then back on the 3rd string, 3rd fret, and then you end open. 1, 2, open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All with the index finger on the right hand. And that's laid out for you on the tablature. And after he does that, he's going to play this complicated back and forth on the bottom 2 strings on the 3rd fret with the slide. It's going to be this really abrasive style playing. He's going to play it like 9 times. Between the 3rd and 2nd fret, he's going to be focusing on the bottom 2 strings. And you're going to be playing that with your index finger. So in all, it'll be like this. Going from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret and back and forth. So he does this sequence, and then he goes into this. Keep going in this instrumental break. So this he does that several times, going from the 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and sliding off. 3rd fret, 2nd fret, off. Finger. And he plays that about, I don't know, 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And after he's done with that, he goes back into this 4-chord position, back to the 5th fret, where you go from the 5th string on the 4th fret, and you do that like we talked about in the verse. Except this time he's not letting it ring, he's playing this on the 4th string, 5th fret. On the, yeah, so going after this, he jumps into this 5th fret, Except that when he does this, he's playing the 4th string on the 5th fret with the slide 4 strikes with the thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going up and down, back and forth from the front to the end of the 5th fret. And so he does that 8 times. So after he does that, and if you're following along with the tablature, he does this sequence after that. Sounds like, and that's gonna be on the 5th string, on the focused on the 3rd fret. You play 1 5th string open, then the 3rd fret, 5th string, and then the 5th string open. So in all, it'll be like this. Okay, so that's a lot to gather here in this instrumental break portion. So I'm going to go ahead from the beginning and lead us up to this point. So the introduction will be like this. Relatively simple and easy. And now I'm going to go really slow for you. I know I might be going a little bit fast, so we're going to go in the introduction really slow. So follow along with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're all caught up. So after he does this, he will now go into the 4th string and the 3rd fret with his slide. You're going to play with the thumb. You're going to play like this. And you're going from the front to the back of the 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after he plays this on the 3rd, you're just sitting on the 4th string, the 3rd fret, coming off, pulling off, and you're playing the 4th string open, and then you play the 5th string 3rd fret, and then the 5th string open. Now open, 5th string 3rd fret, and then open on the 5th string. And after he does that, he goes back into the 5th fret, 4th string, and he's just playing that with the slide and the thumb. So it sounds like this. Alright, and now that will cap off that second page. So again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you play the 5th string open. And now we got the 3rd page of the tablature. And now you're gonna do this again. This. Do this. You're at the this. You're gonna play this like after that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're gonna play the 5th string open, and then the 3rd fret 5th string, and then the 5th string open. To the 7th fret 4th string with the slide, and you're just going to pluck that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these slides comes off of that. And then he does again this. He goes back to that lick on the 5th string. So, tying it together, we're going to go over this portion from the beginning like this. That's where we are up to now. So, going from the beginning, you're finding this 4th string on the 3rd fret. 5th fret 4th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open. And then he goes back to that lick on the 5th string. Open. And then he goes back to the 5th fret again on the 4th string. 5th string 4 times, and then he goes to the 3rd fret on the 4th string, and then he ends again on this 5th string lick. And that will end. So it's a little bit tricky, there's a lot going on. But the second part of that instrumental break, it's more about isolating and playing with the slide the individual strings. So namely the 4th string is going to carry you. The 4th string is going to be this. And then the 5th string is going to be this crux between the sequences you're playing on the 5th and 7th fret. So again, it's this emphasis. 4th string, now the 5th string, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string. A little bit tricky, but you see the concept that's being here. And you want to go on those strings from the front of the fret to the bottom to the end of the fret. Back and forth with the slide. There's a winding motion. And so when he's in this 5th fret and he ends again on the 5th string, break by this on the 5th string. Open, 3rd fret, open. And then he goes back to this portion which I talked about a little bit earlier on in the lesson, this. And then he goes back to coda in the song. So hopefully the tablature will guide you, but it's about placement and following along with the original recording. And it gets easy when you do that, and it's the only way to learn. Alright, so I'm going to play the instrumental break from front to finish, and let's do that. And remember, we're starting on the 12th fret, so follow along with me. I'm going to go extremely slow here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the instrumental break. And again, the emphasis. Emphasis on the 4th string and the 5th string, going between the 4th and the 5th string. 4th and the 5th string only with the slide. And your thumb is going to be dictating that second portion of the break. It's very easy to follow along with the original recording, and I highly recommend that you do so. So after that instrumental break, he goes back into to coda. So you're repeating again, and those are concepts that I had covered. So again, we've talked about, or we've covered everything that we've had to. You have everything available to you on the tablature. And again, to reiterate, to emphasize, it's all about the positioning of the right hand. The thumb is going to be picking out on these bass runs. The thumb is going to do all the work. And on this 12th fret at the bottom with the slide, the index finger is going to be doing all of the work and picking out those individual strings. With the slide, you want to, for the bass notes, you want to create these front to end, back and forth motion with the slide, this winding. The slide cannot press very hard. It's got to be gently pressing against the strings, so there's not so much tension. You just got to relax it. Let those. The more you toggle back and forth with this finesse, the more of a delta sound that it gets. A very important concept to stress. And also in this is this fast. He's doing these fast strokes. That's another big portion of it. And also this break. It's that palm muting that I had talked about. So those are the main accents that feature into the song. So once you understand those techniques, you could listen to a lot of his other works on the original Plantation recordings. Once you get country blues down, try to listen to Eyes Be Troubled, the other song that features in there. and it's utilizing almost the same concept. Well, I feel this morning, blind to that thing. I'm gonna make my getaway, gonna make my getaway. I'll be troubled, I'll be all worried mine. Yes, and I've never been satisfied, no, I just can't keep from crying. Well, I know my baby, she gonna jump and shout. Oh. Again, is utilizing the same techniques. The 12th fret, individual, and again, it's something that reappears again. This is also appearing in Eyes Beast Troubles. So listen along to the other songs and the Plantation recordings and see if you can learn Eyes Beast Troubles from the concepts that you've learned with this song. So in all, I've talked about the introduction, the main verse, and the very characteristic instrumental break associated with this song. Now, this is a very special piece to me, especially because this is the song that introduced me to this music and got me fascinated and got me into a lifelong love and joy for learning and teaching it. So my name is Delta Lou, and it's been a pleasure teaching this lesson for you today. So if you have any other questions, please email me or find me on my website, www.sunhouseguitartabs.com. Thank you so much.